go live on YouTube. I do not know what's going on with Twitch, but whenever I look at my stream manager, it says that my connection is unstable. So I apologize to anyone who's watching on Twitch and there are connection issues. To be honest, I keep forgetting about it. It seems to figure itself out as I keep going in the stream, but I keep forgetting to actually look and fix it. YouTube seems fine. YouTube gives me a green dot saying excellent connection, but for whatever reason, Twitch is unstable. Might have something to do with my stream output, but like, I'll have to like deep dive into that after the stream. Like, it looks okay, so I think Twitch is just twitching sometimes. Ballet? What's happening? Abdelrahman Gamal? Hey, what are we doing today? Well, 1 second. Let me get my affairs in order. There we go. Today, I want to tell you about what I got up to this weekend, which was a little D&D adventure in real life, which is pretty cool. Noob Nabil? Hello. How's it going? I should stop trying to read names because I always fall over them. It's not you guys, it's me. Like, you could put the simplest name up there. It could be like Timothy, and I would be like, Timothy? Actually, I'm the best person who read my Arabic name well. Well, thanks. What has everyone been up to? How's it going? I've got mad toothache. I was fine. My teeth were fine. Then I went to the dentist a couple of weeks ago. They gave me a filling, and now my teeth hurt. So tomorrow I'm gonna call up and see if they can take another look in my mouth because they broke something. They took it apart and they put it back together wrong. How's the weather in Canada today? Pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It might be the worst I've seen it in almost a decade. I haven't left the house much recently, and when I have, we've like got an Uber from our front door, so it's not been too bad. But I ran out of milk last night, and I need milk. I need milk for my morning coffee, and for my multiple coffees a day. I can't survive. So I was like, well, I've got to go. And the store, it was like late last night. The store closed at 10. It was 9:20. And I was like, okay, it takes me 8 minutes to walk to the store. So I can walk to the store. I'll still have 20 minutes to get in there, grab the milk, and get out. No joke, it took me 25 minutes to walk to the store. Because it's like, you know the scene in Lord of the Rings where Legolas is walking on the snow and it's really light, but everyone else is like knee-deep in snow? I was everyone else. I was knee-deep in snow. It was difficult. Yeah, Canada. It wasn't fun. Like, I almost immediately regretted leaving the house. I was just like, this is not good for me. I think I fell over once. I fell over once out there. Because it was the snow, and this is me not over-exaggerating here. The snow is waist height on the pavement. But people have made like a path going through it. But the path is like really thin. And then snow's landed on that path. So you're kind of walking in other people's footsteps in this tiny path, but then the snow underneath is turning to slush, so you're slipping around in there. It's hard. It's difficult. also to hear about your rough start today. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just, I'm British. We complain for, this is my neutral start today. I've actually had a good day. And I've had a really good weekend. But yeah, the snow's crazy. Maybe that's why my teeth hurt. Did you bump my filling when I fell? No. My teeth are really sensitive. I think when they gave me a filling, either it was like deeper than they thought and they didn't warn me that it was going to hurt for weeks, or like they need to go back in and fix something. It's when I like drink cold water. Luckily this is like room temperature and I've been taking painkillers, but what can you do? What can you do? My only fear is that I'm going to Japan at the start of March. A trip that has been years in the making. And then it's kind of like our honeymoon. So after I got married back in September, and then straight after the wedding, my parents took me and my wife on a cruise around North America and Canada. Like we started at New York and it went up to Quebec. And that was kind of we called it our mini moon. It was just like a week long thing, but it was like with my parents, which was great, but it wasn't like, Quebec was really nice. Quebec was honeymoon vibes, but then the cruise was a cruise with my family, because I don't get to see them that often anyway, so it was nice. So this is kind of our like second honeymoon and main honeymoon. It's gonna be good. But I am rubbing it in, but you need to understand that like, we planned to go to Japan in 2019. We were like ready to go in 2019. Things happened in 2019. We didn't go. We pushed it back to 2020. Then COVID happened. And it's just been a long string of events that stopped us. And now we're finally doing it. So I'm really excited. I just hope I can get my teeth sorted beforehand so that I'm not dealing with toothache. How am I supposed to drink my chilled sake if my teeth can't hack it? Hope I have a nice trip. I hope so too. I think I will. I can't see it being a bad trip. I'm gotten 2 of the new books and was wondering if it's worth it to get all 3, even though I don't even have a group to play with. Do you have spare money right now? If you've got spare money, they're great books to have on a shelf. The limited edition ones with the covers, so nice. If you don't have spare money, don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, they're nice. They're luxuries though. They're nice to have. What's going on, Dave? Nerds of the Feather, thank you for the follow. Huge. All right. Let's start chatting about what I want to chat about. So, also, is the music okay? Let me know if the music's too loud or if I sound weird. My usual double checks. I don't know why you wouldn't tell me if the music was like, I'm like, oh, you guys are too polite. You wouldn't tell me if I sounded terrible. It's like, you tell me. You don't care. Also, damn, I didn't see that. Octavio Uvad became a member of the channel of the Bonus Action Faction. Thank you, Octavio. Dude, I was unsure about streaming, but streaming, I've been streaming like multiple times a week now. In the grand scheme of things, not that many people, but the amount of people who are coming out and supporting me is so amazing, and I think it's the streaming that's helping like open that avenue. So thank you everyone who is supporting me and who is here. Music's at a nice background volume. Thank you, Sam. Music's good and your voice is clear. Thank you, Abdal. My local store is open like twice a month, so I think I'll get them online. If you get them online, you can't get the limited edition, right? Or maybe you can if it's bought from your local store. Music's actually a little low. That's fine, Soldier. I'd rather low than high. Gustavo, love your content. Keep up with the good work, man. Thank you. Thank you. trying to find a sweet spot of making good quality content that everyone likes and being able to do it at a decent rate. So no diss, but you're small enough that we feel noticed. No diss at all. Dude, I'm big for me. Because I remember I first started streaming in 2020, as so many people did, just on Twitch, and I was just playing video games. It was before I had D&D channel. And I would be like streaming to 3 people for the majority of it. So the idea now that I have 20 people on YouTube is astonishing to me. And I think if I had more, I wouldn't like it. I mean, I'd like it. But you know what I mean? It would be a very different vibe. If I had like 50 or 70 people, I'd be like, I can't have a chat with people. I can barely keep up with this. I think having chill streams like this is a great way to build a community. I think so too. Yeah. Yeah. It serves another purpose as well, and that is just, it motivates me to make content. Like, I want to get my next video out because I know I can chat about it with you guys when it comes out, and I can get feedback, and it's like, content creation is more of a conversation than it is when I was just making videos and just seeing comments. It felt a bit more like a one-way street. You can call me Abdo. I think it's easier to pronounce. Oh, sounds good. You actually didn't know I streamed till this one. Yeah, I've not done it often, but I think last week I went late. Like the last 2 weeks, I've been live a lot. So I don't stream for long though. It's normally like a 2-hour stream. Have I played online before? Do you mean D&D? Probably, right? You're thinking about giving it a try and wondering if it's good. I have played online. I've played with strangers on startplaying.com, and I had a good time. I've not DM'd online. I do not think anything beats in-person play, though, for me. Especially if I'm DMing. I want that in-person vibe, because it's such a social thing to me. And I'm not someone who likes being in calls or calling people. I want that face-to-face. But, yeah, Start Playing was a good experience, and it's not bad, you know. It's closer to playing a video game with friends than it is to, you know, hanging out with friends. You got live a lot recently? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some names that I keep popping up, which I really appreciate. All right. Distractions. So, this is the Immersive Quest. Okay, it's a D&D official event here. Well, it's not in Toronto. It's next to Toronto. It's in a place called Mississauga. Why it's there, I don't know. It's kind of out of the way, which is pretty annoying. But, and as you can see here, due to the storm, we are closed today. That's how bad it is outside right now. It is storming snow. If you go down here, the whole deal of it, like the whole plan of action, is that you build your party. So you go in and you go in with friends, you choose your class, fundamentally, is the first part of this. Then you begin your quest, and they have a storyline that they send you on with actors who talk about it. Then you face your destiny, where it throws you into a kind of dungeon with multiple encounters, and each encounter is kind of like a mini game. That's a lot of fun. And then unwind and celebrate. When you finish the dungeon, you do a little boss battle, and then you get spat out into a fantasy tavern where you can buy drinks and buy snacks, and there's a gift shop, and you can just chill there for as long as you want. That's really cool. Yeah. Hi, is this AI? This? No, this is real. And I'm sure I've got some footage. I went there on Saturday. I have some thoughts about it. spoilers, but my overall experience was pleasant. But I think they're planning on building this out and having it pop up in different cities, and having it, expanding it. And I have some things that I kind of want them to change if they do that, because this could be better, but it was good. That's awesome. What happens if you die? Do you just fall to the ground and get swept up by closing? That would be so good. I like the idea of like, it wasn't that like action orientated, but imagine if they had a section which was just paintball. Paintball, but instead of paintball guns, you fired paint out of staffs and crossbows. How good and overpriced is the gift shop? I'll get to that as well, because I have some thoughts. I did buy something that I want to show off, but yeah, kind of like a Ren Fair. Kind of. It is in Canada right now. So it's here in Toronto, or Mississauga. So it's here in Ontario. I think the plan is that if this is a success, this is like a soft launch, then it will be put out everywhere else. And I hope it does. Like last year in New York, I went to the 20-Sided Tavern, which is like another D&D official event where you kind of watch a bunch of people improv and roleplay D&D on Broadway in an old theater, and that's phenomenal. I'm like, I want more stuff like that. I do not mind Wizards of the Coast being greedy and capitalist and wanting all my money if they give me good events in a trade-off for it. So I'm team that. Hey, I took the family to this the other week. We all dressed up as the classes in the starting room. That's amazing. Did you have a good time, Lord God? Because the vibe I got from this was that it would be great for kids. If you went with kids. I don't care how small the room is. I cast paintball. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Little paintball grenades. Okay, so. I've got some footage here. Oh. This isn't footage. This is my last video. Sorry, I don't know why. Very helpful info, presented well. Thank you. Also, never seen a DM so easy on the eyes. One nice thing to say. Anyway, I don't know how that ended up there. Let's get rid of that. So this is the Immersive Quest experience. All this footage was taken by me and my wife. Man, the game community is really cool, but not many people in Egypt know about it. Oh, yeah, that worked. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I live in a big city, but even here, as far as D&D stores go, there's only, like, 3 of them, really? One second. Yeah, it's fun. The kids had fun. Beginning is great, but the quality falls off a cliff once you get through the intro. But then it gets better again at the end, in my opinion. But let's go through it. So, you get to see... This is the event space outside as we pulled up in our Uber. You get to see all the snow and the storm. Which is just not fun. They did say, like, arrive 15 minutes earlier, which was unnecessary. I contacted them asking if I could film there, and they emailed back being like, yes, but come at this time because it's less busy. And I have to say, this is my biggest beef with it. If this was less busy, it still felt pretty busy when I was in there. Was that an alt account comment? Be honest. No. No, man. What can I say? People in my community think I'm good looking. What can I say? What can I say? You know? I'm a type. That was my wife there. So there's kind of like a 5-room dungeon thing going on, and this is the first room, which is just a waiting area. And then they give you these wristbands that have a chip in the middle of them, like where those 2 crescent moons meet in the middle. There's a little chip in there which lets you activate things inside the event. You're looking at prices and was wondering which package was best to get. Yeah, I got the basic one. I got the adventurer one, so I can't really talk about the other ones. I don't actually even know what you get with the VIP one. You get a bracelet, a badge, a tote bag, 10% off selected merchandise. This is really cheeky. I'll get to this in a bit, but this selected merchandise thing is really cheeky. And then complimentary celebration beverage at the Waterdeep Market. Huh? I don't think that's worth the extra. I don't think that's worth the extra money, to be honest. Though if the tote is like this one, which I got, which I'll show you in a bit, maybe it's worth it. But Young Hero for kids, students. Yeah. I would just go with the basic if I were you. This overview reminded me of the Stranger Things immersive experience, same vibe. I think it's probably by the same people. Maybe. Or it's a very similar ordeal. This place looks really cool for me. Well, let me show you, because my biggest issue was that I couldn't find that much information on it beforehand. I didn't know what I was getting into. And I'm not going to give major spoilers about the event here, though I am going to be showing footage from it. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, you get these little wristbands. And then this is the first room you go into. And this room is freaking awesome. They have these 4 big stone books that tell you about classes, and there's Druid, there's Wizard, there's Rogue, and there's Fighter. And there's like information about each one. It's actually really cool. And to choose your class, or to choose your character, you put your wristband on this little button here and it lights up. And then you choose your difficulty. And the difficulties are, I can't remember exactly what they're called. Oh, it says they're Recruit, Adventurer, or Veteran. That doesn't change much, it feels like. It's supposed to change the difficulty of some of the encounters in there. But from my point of view, this was kind of where it falls apart a little bit, because your class choice, while cool, and your difficulty choice doesn't really do much for the overall experience. There is no bard. There's no bard. There's no warlock. There's no ranger. So maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. I chose druid just because I noticed that like barely anyone else was choosing druid. So I was like, I gotta go the path least traveled. But yeah, this room in general was one of my favorite rooms. Like the decoration of it and you can't really tell from this footage, but the stuff on the wall, the artwork, the door, the smoke coming out. This guy was an actor who played our dungeon master, who fundamentally just walks us through choosing our characters. But as you can see here, this was supposed to be the less busy time, and already in this room, I felt like there were too many people. I was like walking around people waiting to touch stuff, do things, and the waiting simulator wasn't that fun here. But yeah, he chats about, look at the smoke coming out, billowing. There was another problem here, though, that became apparent, and that was sound. So he talks us through everything, and then he helped us with everything. He was really good. But also, he talks about how there is another dungeon master who is a voice in the sky who fundamentally tells us more about the characters. But I couldn't really hear anything that well. It was a weird thing. This whole place is just one big warehouse. And these makeshift rooms are kind of built just in there kind of thing. It's just a big open space with these little rooms built in. And it's kind of like set pieces on a movie set. If you look up, and you can kind of see it up here, that darkness is just the ceiling of the whole warehouse. So you could climb up there and climb over the top of the set kind of thing. What a best. Stoked to see you live. Happy family day. Happy family day. What a best. How's it going? But that's to be expected. The whole set stuff. I'm not going to pick it apart. The actual things there were really nice and seemed well built and looked really cool. This door was awesome, I gotta say. But once we chose our characters, we got sent through into this next area, which I put the footage the wrong way around because now we're back in the same room again. We can get a better look at that, but let's skip forwards a bit. Oh, information about druids. Yeah, look at the art on here. It's so cool. It shows you what your like clothes would look like depending on what you picked. Yeah, chatting. Here we go. Okay. And then this room is the Yawning Portal. The whole deal is that we are in Waterdeep, and this room was probably my favorite room in the whole place. You had actors in here. You had 3 different actors in here. Oh. Sir Shade, thank you for the subscription with Prime. Yes, I'll take all your Prime money. Give me Amazon. Give me Amazon money. Give me Amazon money? Give me Amazon money. Thank you, Sir Shade. Yeah, we had actors in here. We had a druid, a wizard, and a rogue. And they were phenomenal. Once again, the biggest issue here was sound. Sound doesn't travel well in this kind of area because you have sound coming from different parts of this massive room, and the soundproofing was relatively good, but I certainly found it hard to hear things. You can thank the wife for reminding me. Not my wife, your wife? My wife? But yeah, this bar was really cool. So much so that I didn't get that much footage in here, but behind this tiefling actor are these screens that are supposed to be windows looking out on the city of Waterdeep, and there's some banter between the actors here, and then something happens outside that you get to see in all its glory, and we get sent on a quest, fundamentally. Being a warehouse, sound is going to be an issue. Yeah. Sound is always going to be an issue, and each set had so much sound coming out of it that, like, I say it because sound, it was impressive that sound wasn't worse, but what they tell you, some stuff's quite important and it's easy to miss, and they only tell you once. That was the issue. Like, if they repeated things or made things more clear, it wouldn't have been as much of a problem, to be honest. Chat, I had a meeting at work. Did I miss anything in the last 15 minutes? Nah, I'm just going through this event. Right. But yeah, this got my hopes up that we were going to have multiple rooms like this, where we were going to get, like, be told a story by Actus, and I think that would have been phenomenal. Like kind of a Shakespeare in the Park kind of thing, with the odd thing that you can interact with on the way. I was really excited at this point. I will talk about the new monster books in a bit. But yeah. And then this led into the next room. And this was the dungeon area. And this is where things start to get mixed for me. So we had like 2 or 3 staff members in this room who were helping. 2 or 3 visible ones. There might have been more, but I saw 2 or 3 of them. And this whole room is literally a playground of different encounters, different installations, really. Some of them more in-depth than others. Harpers, yes, they were the Harpers indeed. And each kind of installation has a button that you scan your barcode on to activate it, and then you would do a little mini game, and then you would get XP depending on your difficulty you chose and how well you did the mini game, which sounds great, but the XP really didn't mean much at all that I could tell. So kind of pointless. And that's where, like, despite me really liking this event, I think if they'd chose a lane, if they'd gone either this is an immersive game where points mean stuff, points mean prizes, and like you could up the difficulty and the class you chose really changed the game, that would be better. Or if they'd gone away where it's like, this is a museum. This is full of little art installations where you walk through and you get to see a gelatinous cube, you get to see an owlbear, you get to see a dragon, and then there's tons of information and Easter eggs and like really cool art. If they had done that, I would have also not been mad. But they went down this middle road where it's kind of a bit of a jumble. XP, not milestone, begging for trouble. Here comes some min-maxes, indeed. And no leveling up. I understand that people who fail a lot would be frustrated, but sad that XP didn't mean much. Well, XP was supposed to mean that you get money off in the shop at the end. That's fundamentally what XP means. The more XP you get, the more money you get off in the shop in the end. On selective products, they were very cheeky to us. But yeah, so go in. This room is truly a marvel. It's very, very cool. It's got a lot of D&D stuff, obviously. And as you can see, you're kind of just in here. And you can stay in here for as long as you want, which led, that's my wife with an owlbear, which led to there being a lot of people in here. We also had issues with the technology, trying to bleep through. We got told early on that if you do it and it goes white, then you can't actually do it yet. There's an issue. But we had this mushroom installation, which was a lot of fun. Kind of popped your head up there. These were kind of my favorite things. The things where like you saw something cool rather than having to solve a puzzle. But obviously that will change from person to person. My biggest issue with this place was, well, it's a mix of the amount of people, the technology not always working, the direction being a bit weird, and also the staff. I don't want to call them out because I think they were having a hard day. It was a Saturday, it was late, but they weren't that approachable for me. But that might be on me for not being good at approaching. But yeah, the mushroom was very cool. I wish there was more stuff like that. But yeah, so I had a lot of issues with this stuff. They had like a spell book where you cast a spell, which was very cool. Once again, technology failed me sometimes because it was like a lot of infrared, like watching how you move and stuff, and it didn't make it obvious how to do things. So yeah, that's a pity. This one's cool. This one is a beholder with laser eyes, and you have to avoid the laser beams. And this one was like one of the best done ones because there's an obvious button at the front of it that says like beep in, and then you see the lasers come on, and then you can see the button to beep out at the end, so you understand it completely. So that was really cool, and I wish it had more stuff like that. We had this one which felt like it was possibly a race, a little platformer where you beep on at you tap on at the start, you run across these, and then you tap off at the end. But once again, there was no scoreboard or sign that like you were being timed in any way, shape, or form. Like there was no real competitive feel there. And maybe I got more XP if I did it faster, but I don't know. I have no idea. At this point, I had no idea how much XP I had, if I was even gaining XP. This was inside the gelatinous cube, which was very cool. Stuff like this, stuff like the cube where you're just walking in and looking around, it was like my favorite. And just being there was very cool. Skip forwards a little bit, but yeah, you kind of get the drift of the kind of place here. It was just a big room. I think it had like maybe 12 different mini games, we'll call them, that you have to do. But the kicker is, you don't have to do them all. There's nothing stopping you from just lining up and going into the next room where you do a boss battle. So, you know, take that with what you will. It really is. I don't know if I was expecting more of a game, more of an escape room style situation. But it's more like an escape room. If you just wanted to open a door, you could. It's like, hey, you can try and do all the puzzles and find the key to get out, but also the door is unlocked, so you can just leave. It's kind of what it felt like. The experience would have been so enhanced if the minigames were enclosed in fake dungeon walls. I think, and I've seen other people, and a lot of other people had the same criticism, that they wish it was more separated, for sure. And also longer. Because you come in here and you're probably done in this room in about 30 minutes. You know, you've done everything in 30 minutes. Maybe 40 minutes if you really take your time, but you could do it in 15 if you sped ran it. And most of the time is spent waiting to get on the games and stuff. And you know. What's happening, Johannes? How's it going? But I hope I don't sound too cynical or critical about it, because it was a great time. If they want to roll this out to other places, or if you are thinking of going, I want to be critical of how they can improve. Really. But look at it. Look how cool it looks. You know, there's a bunch of stuff like this Mimic here that was just genuinely epic. You had these Speak with Dead spell, just like the movies. But yeah. So once you are kind of done with this room, you wait at these doors. Let me skip past there. There's an owlbear, which is really cool. You have a little pet. Skip past these. You get the drift. I failed this. It got me with a laser eye. But I did it again and I succeeded. So, you know. Oh my god, how much footage did I get off this cube? Okay, so once you are done with this, they take you into the boss battle room. And now this is spoilers. So if you think you might go to this thing and you don't want to be spoiled, now's the time to look away. I got disintegrated, yeah. Yeah, on this whole trip, I got disintegrated by Beholder Eyes, and I got disintegrated by a gelatinous cube as well, so hard time. The problem with immersive experience is that they often aren't very immersive. Indeed. So yeah, we waited here, we got pulled into this area where there's multiple different rooms, and this is just the boss battle now. And I didn't get much footage of this because I was busy doing it, but this was very cool, and it would have been cooler, but I feel like I was having tech issues again with whatever it is using to detect my movements, infrared, I guess. But the idea here is that if I want to attack this boss, I swipe down and it sends out a spell. The spell homes in automatically, targets automatically. There's no skill involved except waving my hand and sending the spell. But it's cool. But the cooler thing was if I hold my hand out like that, then a shield appears and blocks attacks. So that was a lot of fun. But this mostly felt like a bigger, better version of, like, you know, these shooters in arcades where you actually have like a plastic gun and you're shooting the screen. That's kind of what it felt like. But it was cool. It was a nice way to end that experience. And honestly, out of all the way up to this point, I think if they just had like maybe one more room, if we just go back to this room, like the big room, If they just had maybe one more room with something different and interesting, it would have padded the whole thing out and made it feel a bit more like a big adventure. And I was expecting, and I would have liked more acting stuff. My favorite part of the whole thing has to have been what we just glimpsed there at the end. Once we kill this guy. At the very end of it, you go into a tavern and celebrate. And look at this place. It's so cool. They have the dragon head on the wall. They have the merch shop. Now, I went late on a Saturday, and I think maybe they restock on Mondays because they had very little merch here. I've seen images from other people going, and this place looked stocked full. And in fact, my wife wanted some things that just weren't here, which was a real shame. Also, we got told how much XP we got from the games here, and that gave us a percentage off. I think I got 8% off because I chose medium difficulty. My wife chose veteran difficulty, got more XP, and I think she got like 10% off products. And then when we tried to buy stuff, we got told the 10% off products only works on 2 products. 2 products. This was very cheeky. It was some tiny figurines, and I forget what the other one was. I forget what the other product was. But it was obviously products that they wanted to get rid of, right? And I was just like, just let me... That was disappointing, because we did not know up until that point that it was only on such a small selection of products. So, very annoying. I did, however, buy a bag, but only because I didn't have a bag at the time, and it was storming outside, so they tricked me into buying another bag, because they didn't have any bags there. And I got this cool-ass looking DM screen, which is very, very cool. And this is just like the collector in me that got that. But the shop was good. The shop had more minis and like D&D official merch than I'd seen in any other kind of shop. They were just out of stock, seemingly. But for example, they have, you can kind of see it here, they have a cookie jar, which is a D&D castle, and they had salt and pepper shakers, which were shaped like D20s, which was really cool. That screen comes with attached to special edition books. Ah, that's where it's from. Well, I bought it separately. But yeah, the amount of cool minis and stuff here was impressive. I just didn't end up buying much. But the vibes of this place was really cool. And we got some cool drinks, cocktails. We got some food. The food is just snacks. You know, it's nothing too big. But we chilled there for like... We were in this section for maybe 40 minutes to an hour, just chilling and chatting. I asked the guy behind the bar, like, do you kick people out? Because surely new people are coming in all the time. So you have to have a time limit, right? And the guy was like, no, people can just stay as long as they want. I'm like, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, we've not had any issues yet, but they've had people come and play D&D in here. Like, they've come, they've done the event, they've sat down with their friends, and they've just played like a 3-hour session of D&D on one of these tables. I really like this. This is a backpack, D20 backpack, which I was so close to buying. But it was $100, and you know, I just couldn't mount it. Here, I'll show you. So like we stayed for so long that it was emptying out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. As there's some of the stuff you can get. You get for food, you can get a blue Jello cube snack, a Rice Krispie Brain, a brownie cake pop, chocolate cupcake, which we got, which was really nice. So this kind of made up for like that middle bit being... I still don't want you to think it was bad, but like I think it could have been a lot better. $80 at your local store. Yeah, I guess they've upped the price because they've got us in here now. This was a candy floss cocktail which I had, which was great fun. And These were two of the cocktails we had. They were named after spells, I believe. So there's dry ice in that one. I love me some dry ice in a drink. And this part is like, I think exactly what you would expect. And me and the wife spoke about it in this place a fair amount. And we were kind of saying like, I think what we wanted from an experience like this, and it's hard to do. I'm not like saying it's an easy thing to do. And they did a good job still. But I think what we want is a D&D fantasy Ren Fair. We've never been to a Ren Fair before, but the idea of like, if we had gone into this place and they had like another area, just one more area, which was open and it was a bit more like a convention floor full of market stalls, then I think that would have been really cool. And just like an area that we just wanted to hang out in kind of thing for longer. There is one thing I didn't bring up though, which is a pro, which was really good. And that is in the big playground area, there were hidden words around the place. There were 4 hidden words that were, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but they're around and they're clues to a past phase that you can kind of do and it's optional. And that was the most fun part because I had a goal. I was like looking in the mushroom to see if there was any clues. I was doing everything to see if I could find the clues. And I kind of wish there was more stuff like that, to be honest. Like more little mini quests inside this that I could figure out and do. So, and it's a shame there wasn't. Gustavo joining the bonus action faction. Thank you so much. Holy crap. This looks so awesome. Yeah. So it may sound like I'm being overly critical. I also went into it with a critical mind as well, because I was planning to review and we were filming footage. So we went in a way that like we weren't easily disarmed by it, if that makes sense. I had my defenses up. Now that your expectations are set, would you go a game with friends? So here's the thing, right? This whole experience would have been 10 times better if I was with a bigger group and there was less other people. And in fact, in a world where, and I think you can book out like the whole space as an event. It would probably cost you a lot of money. But if there was a world where me and my friends, like 6 of us, were the only ones doing it, that would be phenomenal. That would be so cool. But obviously they would have to jack the price up from like $40 to $120. And then that price wouldn't be worth 2 hours of my time. And I say 2 hours, we milked it. I think if we could have been in and out in like an hour, which is a shame, because the other issue is it's in Mississauga. It's in a not easy to reach place for most people. If this was like in Toronto city center, then it would have been much better. So yeah. That being said, I do like, if you are in the area and a fan of D&D, you'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. And I think if you have kids, or if it's a family, or you are going with a group of people, with your D&D friends, then yeah, you would have a great time. It was just me and the wife, and you know, we like hanging out with each other, but having like the group dynamic of doing everything, and maybe even that's where the competitiveness could come in. It's like, how fast can you do this? How much XP can you get? To answer your question, would I do it again with friends? I would do it again with friends, but I wouldn't have as much fun. It would be more just about showing them the things. And I would be mostly just wanting to get into that tavern at the end. I think WotC needs to do what they do with Magic and make campaigns from their Beyond the Multiverse. Imagine a Harry Potter campaign with Elminster and Dumbledore. This kind of thing would go amazing. Yeah. It really does look fun. I'd hope to go to something like this with the people in my campaign. Hopefully they bring it to Nashville area. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. I really hope they I hope it's successful. I really do. You didn't show a pic of the Dragon Gate. Which Dragon Gate? Please hold. I did. There's footage in here somewhere. I'm just clicking through it now. This one? Yeah. It's very cool. It is a pity about the big fire exit top left. Kind of destroys the immersion just a little bit. But yeah, the set, the scenery, very, very cool. Got a lot of time for it. They should buy. So this was the thing. I was genuinely like, I had the thought that if there was a tavern like this one, just in my local area, it would be my favorite tavern. It would be my favorite place to go. There are places similar in Toronto that are like these kind of like themed places, but they're all like make a reservation, table service, sit down, eat, get out. If I just had like a dive bar that looks like this, I would never leave. I would never leave. Yeah, it's the Immersive Quest by Vibrant Studios, indeed. Thanks, Sam. Did it feel like D&D or did it feel like an event, if that makes sense? It depends what you mean by that. Like, it didn't feel like I was playing D&D at any point, because how do you do that? It's not like I could only move 30 feet every 6 seconds. But the world itself felt very D&D. It surprised me that they put a lot of work into the feel and the world of it. Everything was. It felt very D&D world, like the movie kind of deal. You kids had the Beholder cake pops here. We spent more time in the tavern than I expected. Yeah, we spent ages in the tavern. We had a lot of stuff. We had the 3 cocktails available, and we had there's like a charcuterie board you can get. I had a sandwich, and then we had a cupcake, and there's like an Intellect Devourer rice cake, which was nice. Yeah. The shop was cool. I do wish we had gone at a time when it had more in stock, because I think we were very excited about buying a lot of merch, and there just wasn't a lot there at that point in time. Yeah. How would you feel about themed rooms designed to host sessions with food and drink services? Yeah, but like I think places have kind of tried that. It's hard because you kind of have, it costs a lot to rent a room, you know? And if you're doing D&D weekly, I guess a one-shot is good. A tavern like that is a business opportunity. Yeah, indeed. It would be so much fun. And then there's a place in Toronto called Stormcrow Manor. Which is just a nerdy bar. They've got like an old house that is multiple stories, multiple rooms, and this is kind of the closest thing to it. Look how cool it looks. It's really cool. But this is what I was talking about. The problem with look, there's a beholder there. The problem with Stormcrow Manor is that you need a reservation. You can't just show up. They sit you at the table. You can't really walk around freely. I mean, you can, but like it's like a restaurant, right? It's kind of weird if you're just like walking about. But we did New Year's Eve here 2 years ago, and that was amazing because that was just, you could walk anywhere and it was just a big house party. They have one of my favorite things here, which is D20 shots, and you fundamentally order a D20 shot. You don't know what you're getting. They give you a D20, you roll it, and that decides what shot you're about to get. So I think if you roll a 20, it's a really nice shot, and you get to keep this really cool shot glass. If it's a 1, it's like, it's an awful shot, but it's still not that bad. D&D in a castle, next incarnation. I think there's definitely a world where, like, it's interesting that they decided to go for this immersive quest when I feel like there's easier stuff to do at a smaller scale. For example, D&D escape rooms. How good would that be? It would literally just be like you and 5 other people, your D&D party, would just go maybe before or after a session to an escape room, and it would be an escape room themed around D&D. You know, I think that would be so cool, and they could do loads of like little small things like that. But yeah, 1 is a pickleback, 20 is a dungeon. Sam, I'm glad you know. Surprised they were zoned to have a liquor license. I guess it's a lot easier. I must admit, yeah, that I did wonder what the logistics of being able to serve booze was there. And I gotta say, those cocktails, you know, had like 3 of them. I felt it. Here in Brazil, we have Taverna Medieval. That sounds cool already. It's a nightmare to get a reservation. Oh, let me have a look at that. Taverna Medieval. Is it this place? That does look cool. Hold on. Oh, crap, it was about to show me. Oh, look at that. This is like, we have medieval times here in Toronto. I know other places have it as well. That's the vibe it's giving me. Oh, this is so cool, though. Yeah, I like themed bars. Why are there not enough of them? Like, every bar in Toronto, and the people who obviously know Toronto can back me up here, we have some really nice restaurants and bars. Don't get me wrong. We have some really good food, we have really good drink. But a lot of them are kind of the same. So just give me a sci-fi themed bar. Give me a fantasy bar. We have 1 or 2. We've got some sci-fi themed bars too, but give me more. Gimme. And the sad thing is that the physical stores and stuff is kind of dying because of the internet. Like, I wanted to open a place where you go to play D&D, MCG and stuff, but realized it wouldn't work. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very unique set of thing where it's like people are either playing online or playing in their house. So you need a good reason to get them out their house, which is hard to do. Can't throw a stone without hitting an Irish pub. So it should be, though. So it should be. Great hamburgers at Taverna Medieval. Man, now I want to go. I would love to do a Ryan Trahan style video where I just go around all the fantasy medieval based, like, themed bars in the world and review them. That would be phenomenal. If we go sci-fi, are you willing to sign a waiver, like a double death commando? Like, you go in and you're just like, whatever happens, happens. Almost every bar in Nashville is a honky-tonk, unfortunately. I kill for Fantasy Tavern or Star Wars Cantina vibe. Sam, when I went to Nashville, I went on one of my friend's bachelor stag do's, of course. I can understand why you would get bored of it real quick, but I'd never been to a town like that. I'd never been to a honky-tonk bar until I went to Nashville. Now I've been to 73, but I loved Nashville. It was so much fun. Every bar was a full-on show. It was crazy. Travel vlog leaked. Oh man, if I could get a cushy sponsor. If someone came out of the woodwork and sponsored me, like, how much would that even cost? Like, flights alone to go into Brazil and that would be a 100K budget video. That would be wild. I can barely make enough money to pay rent. I can't do that. Yeah, I would need like an insane company who just doesn't know what money is to just come sponsor me. So wait, what happened? Cool Cylinder, how's it going? Oh, I went to this D&D immersive quest event where you kind of go through a D&D inspired immersive quest is the best way to describe it. It was WotC. Yeah. Hopefully, I want to make an actual video out of it. Maybe from this stream, depending on what I can salvage. Depending on how much of a bumbling mess I've been, but I've got enough footage. I got 15 minutes of footage, which I'll play for people who are just coming in. But yeah, no, it was a good time. What it says on the tin. It's so hard to explain what it is. I know Immersive Quest doesn't even explain it, I think. But you choose a character. There's like some actors that play out and send you on a quest. Then there's a big room full of tons of little D&D mini games that you play, which are a lot of fun, though I had my issues with it. Then there's like a boss battle at the end. And then there's a tavern where you can chill, have drinks, buy products, and merriment. Can you show us your dice collection in its entirety? Insert name here. I've not even thought about this because I've just not had chance to, but I now have a lot of dice. I now have a lot of dice. So I could do a big dice reveal. I'd have to gather them all up from the different corners of the house. You should do a state of the collection video. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is weird trying to describe it to people. Did I have fun? Yes, it was a lot of fun. Was it good? I wish it was better. Because it's not that it wasn't good, it's just that there's so much potential. There was so much potential. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've given my thoughts on it in general. Where's the best place to get dice? Insert name here. What kind of dice are you after? I'm team support local game store, so that would be my answer for most things. Go to a local game store. Or a dice giveaway. You know, with that whole Mr. Beast stuff about him doing illegal giveaways and that storm that happened, I'm kind of scared to do any kind of giveaways. Imagine they made the dungeon in a maze type way. So that would have been really cool if they had like another area that was like a labyrinth, like a maze that you kind of escape. Oh, that'd be great. Walk 1922. This is in Mississauga, near Toronto, Canada. It's only here right now, Aaron, but they are, I think, planning. They keep saying it's the first of its kind. So I believe they're going to open up, or if this does well, they'll open up elsewhere as well. Reminiscing about it is almost better than when I was actively doing it. What do you want to roll on? Atium, it would have fundamentally improved it. Yeah, but Mr. Beast has like 200 million subscribers, so people are trying to get him cancelled. Yes, yeah. Man, can you imagine? Can you imagine having Mr. Beast money? Imagine how much dice you could buy. I do Mr. Beast style videos that were like, I filled my friend's house with D20s. And it would just be 1,000 D20s in a bedroom. Yes. Metal dice damage things. Gem and crystal dice get damaged. But as long as you're like aware of that, they're both phenomenal. Definitely at least better than the Willy the Wonka Kids Factory in the UK. I don't know about that. What is that? Was that bad? The vibe that this place could have had was, I don't know if you've been to like Universal Studios. They have like the Harry Potter street that you can go down, and you're just like in it. You know, you're just walking around and you're in it, and you can go into like the one shop or different shops. That would have been really cool. That kind of vibe. But obviously they're not made of money. I'm not just being like, they just have an unlimited budget and blah, blah, blah. But yeah. I'll just put like 1,000 D20s on his floor and make them all have the one facing up. And somehow 1,000 D20s still isn't enough for some of you goblins. What's the Willy Wonka thing? Let me have a look. Was it like a fire festival style thing? Was it terrible? Willy Wonka themed factory. Willy Wonka inspired event in Glasgow leaves kids in tears. Oh no. The less than magical Willy Wonka event briefly explained. That's what I want. In Glasgow, Scotland, families looking forward to an immersive event billed as Willy. Ooh, what's that noise? Thank you for the resubscription for 2 months, Cool Cylinder. Oh, 2 months going strong. Who'd have thunk we'd make it this far together? But here's to hopefully many more months to come. In Glasgow, Scotland families looking forward to an immersive event billed as Willy Wonka's Chocolate Experience were met with what they described as an empty warehouse filled with lackluster decorations and few, if any, of the promised treats. Instead, parents and kids were given half a cup of lemonade and 2 jelly beans each. No. No. That can't be true. That can't be true. That's insane. That's such a scam. Oh no. Oh no, this is a meme. This is fake. This has to be fake. Look. Looks like a crystal meth lab. Okay, Breaking Bad. This is insane.
What is that? It's the Undog. What is that? It's the Undog.
What the hell is that? Is that even a thing in Willy Wonka? The freaking demon thing? You need to type in the meth command. There was one not too long ago that was a Bridgerton style inspired one where it was supposed to be this Bridgerton ball event, and they had like a stately manner, and it was going to be this beautiful thing. Sounds fun. You dress up in like Bridgerton garb, you dance to classical music, and it was great. But then they kept moving the date back and then changing certain things, and then it ended up being just this happening in just like the 3rd floor of this building, and it had like one person behind the bar and one person playing a violin, and the creators of the event were nowhere to be seen, and it cost people like hundreds of bucks. It's just wild what people get away with. They made up a villain, the Unknown, the chocolate gobbler. The demon was really just a drug lord in charge of the meth lab. This the fact that he's behind the mirror.
What is that? It's the Undog. What is that?
Sound of the kids. It's so brutal. Oh no. I can't. Oh, I can't. I can't. It's like the day of the event, the creators are probably looking at it being like, yeah, we messed up. We messed up. We messed up. But they're like, but the show must go on. The Enter. Something like the Ender. Like an Enderman. Like it's long shut down because of the obvious scam, but I kind of wish I'd experienced it. Like they did this more than once. Like it was an ongoing thing. I feel like the people go in there and then they leave after 5 minutes and this thing is shut down. This person shouldn't be allowed near kids. Did I see the Oppenheimer? I saw the Oppenheimer posts. It's the test tubes. It's the smoke. It's the what I think are tears coming from her eyes. It's difficult. It's difficult. I need to get it off the screen. It's difficult. It's a difficult watch. Oh, man. Yeah. This is like, you can't write this stuff.
On.
And like the guy who's the ender is just like, yeah, just hide behind a mirror the whole time and scare kids. Is he just there for hours? You think there was a bunch of AI used for it as well? When was this? February last year? Oh man. Oh no. The tiny bit of cloth to make you feel like you're in a chocolate wonderland is crazy. The TV not plugged into anything. The bare concrete floor that looks wet. There's just, you can't make it up. This is AI generated? Yeah, it looks it, to be honest, as well. I wouldn't be shocked if the whole thing was AI generated. Like they typed into AI, like, how do I put on an event? And they just did whatever the AI told it. Oh my God. Wet and unswept indeed. So funny. The cables alone. Like there's something plugged into the wall here. It just, if I had kids, I would not let them near here. No way. There's multiple red flags going on. Dangerous environment because of like electricity and cables and slippery floors and stuff. But then also like that. You feel so bad for all the mums and dads who pay to bring their kids here. Yeah. I would hope that I would see the funny side, but I don't think my kid would. But I would be stoked at this. If I took my kid, if I had a kid and I took it to a place like this and I saw how bad it was first person, I would just, oh, I'm taking that memory. That's a core memory right there. But yeah, maybe my kids wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. The cops came to this. Yeah, there's criminals here. There's full-on criminals.
What is that?
Arrest these
It's
men.
the Ender.
There's a toilet brush on the table as part of the set. No, there's not. Where? That? Yeah. That's what it looks like. Yeah. And like, what is she making? I presume chocolate, but I don't see... Oh man, the apparatus. She looks like she's under duress. She looks like she doesn't know what's going on. She looks like this, she was just doing something. And people came into her place of work. That's what it looks like. She's collecting blood samples, oh man. Lots of time for it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention because I didn't know that happened. She looks like your aunt. Pretty harsh. Pretty harsh. Could be true though. Top 10 most underpaid actors. Olympus of 2024. Yeah. Yeah, I hope this person genuinely has a good career off of this. They probably got more exposure from this being a disaster than if this was a success. So, clouds with silver linings. What can I say? All right. She looks like she thought it was only rehearsals, and surely there is no way they are ready to open. She definitely did her own makeup, right? Like, they didn't have someone do that for her. They hired her and they were like, you need to handle your side of things. I mean, I think she did a great job. Look, credit where credit is due. Whoever did the makeup and stuff, the fact that she has green hair and orange skin is like, that's okay. Like, that looks fine. That could easily look way worse. The issue is her expression. And every other single aspect of this photo. That's the issue. I can finally be a good crack user for the Breaking Bad reboot. Yeah. Costume is great. The way she's acting is not. Who knows what is going on? Like, I bet people must have been so mean to them. It's like they just got paid to show up. And there's something to be said for. There should be a word for it. Like, people who are taking part in something, and they're being paid, like a movie or a TV show or a play or anything, and they're doing their best, and they're gonna put in 100%, but they know it's gonna be a disaster, but they're still doing it because they've got integrity and they're getting paid, and they're gonna do their job well, but they just know it's gonna be a disaster. Like, there should be a word for that feeling, because I feel. Must happen a lot. Must happen a lot. I've got a bag of crack for you. Yeah. Okay, let's put that to bed. Let's put that to bed. Yeah, of all the experiences that have been, the D&D immersive one is probably not in the worst list. Looking at how bad it can get. The worst list is that and Fire Festival. Maybe it's performance art. Yeah, maybe it's Banksy. We don't know. All right. Well, very short stream today, but I think I'm going to leave it in a minute. Just because, you know, I came here to chat and talk about the D&D immersive event, and we've done both those things. But it's nice, paid to do a job. And I want to go and work on this week's video, which has been a long time coming, which is another dice video. Yeah, it sucks. I want to stream for longer. I've got to figure out a way. I need to plan more stuff. Because that sucks. Only streaming for 1 hour 20 minutes, but you know, it is what it is. And we got scheduled, right? Yeah, I'd rather do these short streams and stream more often, I think. If I pushed myself for longer streams, I feel like I would like burn out. So I'll slowly build them up. But I'll probably be live again a few more times this week. So, and it's usually around this time as well. So thanks everyone for popping in, as always. Thank you for everyone who Twitch Prime subbed, channel membershiped, normal Twitch subbed. The whole thing, it genuinely means a lot. So thank you. And yeah, I'll keep up the grind as I have a good one. Catch you guys later.